Hope everybody's doing okay. We'll see who wants to join us today. Maybe we can get a person or two in here. I'm just starting to build this channel up again. Nothing really exciting is going to happen until next week, and then I'll show you the process of the RV being repainted, renamed, new mission, the whole 9 yards. Someone's still got to fight for all of our cannabis prisoners because nobody belongs to be in prison for pot. And nobody's getting our federal prisoners out. Now, I took it upon myself back March 1st of 2014 to start a mission long before all these other groups and stuff, you know, not bragging or not trying to, fighting to get everybody out of prison under federal and state. Since then, a lot of people have hopped onto that. Organizations have popped up, and that's good and that's great, but we're not getting nothing done. You know, every day goes by, they're still set in these prisons, and they shouldn't be. So, normally, most of my stuff's on Facebook. Well, I'm going to start doing a 420 every day here on YouTube. Hopefully people will catch on, come in, watch it later, or watch it tomorrow, because it almost takes a full day to process. So you can watch yesterday's today and today's tomorrow if you miss it, type deal. Hey, what's up, bro? What's up? I'm glad somebody came in. I hope you're doing okay. Thank you for the thumbs up. I need more people to do it. I got some deliveries today. I got a little bit of my paint in. I got my paint brushes in. To me, I celebrate the Sabbath on Saturday. So I'm not working today. Otherwise, I'd be out there and doing a little painting on the cannabis. But I got to wait till tomorrow, and we're supposed to have rain tomorrow. Hey, how you doing? And we're supposed to have rain tomorrow, so if we don't get rain, I will work on doing some painting on it. But if we get rain, I won't. Give me 1 sec. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, as y'all know, we have election coming up, and I'm starting a brand new petition. Every 4 years, I've started a petition. No, I'm not a vet. In 2014, I was asked to be their voice. I am not a vet, but I'm proudly their voice. Cannabis needs to be legal everywhere in the United States of America. Nobody should be in jail for weed. And I started out with a motorhome March 1st of 2014. And it was a Dodge Kings Highway 1978 model. And I used it going across the country the first time. And in Knoxville, Tennessee in 2017, at a Walmart parking lot, it burnt. And a Vietnam vet pretty much donated one to me so I could have a place to live and or continue the mission if I wanted to. And that's where the cannabis that I now have originated. Now, a couple years ago, 3 years ago or so, I gave it to a veteran because I was going to retire with my family in Colorado. And a couple months after giving it to the vet, moving it with the family, we lost the house. They sold it out from underneath of us. We was just renters. So my family had to come back to Phoenix, Arizona. And the veteran gave me the bus back and said, hey, good Lord ain't done with you. Go back and spread the message and, you know, continue. And so I have for 2 years after that, which I renamed it the Cannabis 2.4 because it did change hands. Well, the end of about this time last year, I come off the road to get eye surgery with some so-called friends in Graham, Texas. It ended up being a really, really, really bad situation. And, you know, I hate to put negative in things, really. But then again, if someone had told me, this would have never happened to me. There's a place where people go and you can rebuild your motorhomes, whatever. And he charges $600 a month, $20 a day. You can use his tools and whatnot. But stay away as far away as you can, people, from that place. Just take it from me. Nothing but a bunch of liars and thieves, and I'll leave that at that. What do you mean, random? Nobody should be in jail for weed. Nobody, not one person. I don't care if it sells or what. Now, if they have another charge, you know, like guns or drugs or something, yeah, okay. But nobody should be in prison for pot. Not one person. Not one person. Absolutely. Anybody that says weed is bad is either uneducated or a liar. So why would we lock somebody up for it? But anyhow, now, this used to have, you couldn't have counted the signatures on it and stuff, but this is what I drive around, by the way. And why do I go by 420 Jim? Because that's my legal name. I can no longer use Stevens. Stevens is not a part of my life no more. My driver's license or nothing says Stevens anymore. It's just this old YouTube channel of mine happens to mention what my name used to be. But it won't be called the Cannabis no more. I'm doing away with the word cannabis. Now, if y'all join me throughout next week and whatnot, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise, bunch of rain, you know, you'll see it starting to transform into what it's going to look like and the new name of it. I am looking for a couple sponsors. You know, if you know anybody that, or if anybody sees this, that's into the cannabis movement and believes that cannabis prisoners shouldn't be in jail for cannabis and it should be legal for everyone, well, give me a holler. I'll make you a window and you can sponsor the cannabis. You know, let's say you're a little dispensary or whatever, and we put your name and where you're from and everything and how you sponsor the cannabis. Anybody that'd like to do that? Oh, there's lots of room in the RV. It's just me and my two dogs. I really wish I had something smaller, but I don't. This is what I have. And it's made it coast to coast. Just year before last, I went coast to coast. I went from California to Starks, Maine, year before last with her. If you Google 420JIM, and do a search, I mean, go past the first thing, which is the website, all that's going to change here real shortly, new petition, all. You'll see hundreds of stories, literally hundreds and hundreds of stories about me on the internet. But it's so important we get everybody to band together this year and sign this petition to whoever, Kamala, Trump, whoever goes into office. Because, you know, they've been screwing with us for a dozen years now that they were going to declassify it. And they haven't. To this day, it's still considered a class 1 narcotic. Sorry about that. Class 1 narcotic, hallucinogenic, no medical value. Look it up. I've had people tell me all the time, oh, it's not a class 1. Yes, it is. That has never been changed. So, and it's simply gun control. A lot of people don't put 2 and 2 together when it comes with the Hunter Biden Jr. or whoever it is, the one that violated federal law for buying a firearm, being known to be associated with cocaine, which is a class 2. Okay, so after he was known to have class 2 cocaine possession or a user, he was out buying guns. Okay, they can connect him to cocaine before he bought that gun. Therefore, that's what he was charged for. What's the difference with cannabis? And that's a class 1 narcotic. See, people aren't waking up. People trust our government way too much. Way too much. And that's the only reason in the world I can think that they haven't bumped it out of a class 1 narcotic. You know, if there was no medical value, they would have bumped it out of class 1 already, because to be a class 1, it can't have any medical value at all, which we know is a total lie. And a lot of people don't know, but if you just research who owns the patent on medical cannabis, you will find it is the United States government. I mean, how dare people? I can't believe all of y'all have let them for all these years just blatantly screw us over. I mean, it's right in your face. Especially, I've been on the road 10 years and what. Now, this started in 2014. I've seen all the states coming and getting it, and you know, I'm fighting more and more and more and more. And I'm like, how the hell can they keep it a class 1 narcotic and let states sell it as medicine? Someone's breaking some sort of a law somewhere, you know, but they're all making that dollar on it. And while they're making that dollar on it, they're keeping our prisoners locked up. Absolutely, it's crazy, and it's just a plant. Okay, what started this mission? What started this whole mission right here? I won't give you the long version. I'll give you the short. I was set up by a snitch and arrested for 2 counts of sales of marijuana. I tried to hire an attorney. He wanted $5,000, said he could beat the case by, you know, them using the snitch and setting me up, entrapment, whatever. $5,000. That didn't happen. Couldn't afford it. My third public pretender made the mistake of letting me catch him on my phone recorder saying that he wasn't going to call witnesses or nobody. That I'd pissed someone off and I was going to do DOC. You know, that surprised the hell out of me. But I go out of his office, go down to public defenders, I play him that tape, and they had to hire me private counsel after that. And lo and behold, good Lord, it was that attorney that said that he would do the case for $5,000. So when I'm in his office, he's like this, and I'm like this, and he's like, I don't care who pays me. What do you want to do? And I said, just like I told you the other day, you know, I want them to prove to me and my jury what narcotic is in marijuana. See, that's how I lost the first 3 public pretenders. They didn't want nothing to do with me in my case, because I told them, when I first met the public defenders, I asked them, I said, you took an oath to represent me zealously, correct? And I use the word zealously because that's what the word is in the oath. And by you knowing that, they know you know their oath, you know, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, the state has to prove all points of their case, right? And they're like, yeah. And I said, simple. Take it to trial and bring in a chemist to prove what narcotic is in marijuana. Because we can bring in a chemist to prove that there's not. You know what they did? I'll read your answer and then I'll tell you what they did. Wow, that's sad if they do that. Hey, hello again from Scotland. So guess what they did when I tried to take it to trial, you know? All they had to do was to prove to my narcotic my jury what narcotic was in marijuana. And I would have been sent away for 10 years. I mean, I had it on audio and video. 2 times I was called up and I thought I helped a friend and took a gram of weed from over here to over here and the money from over here to over here. And marshals picked me up a month later, the whole 9 yards, you know. But they couldn't face me in trial on what narcotics and marijuana. They found me incompetent to stand trial. So March 1st, and that happened in 2013 in Farmington, New Mexico. And so March 1st of 2014, I put some leaves on an RV that I had, a different one than this. I was selling decals at the time, doing the flea market thing. I took all the decals off, sprayed some pot leaves on it and stuff, and hit the road. And I've been on the road pretty much ever since, except this last year, I have detached retina surgery. First time they put gas in it, repaired it, put gas in it, but that didn't heal up and work. It tore again. So this time they took and put a rubber band around the eye and filled it with silicone when they repaired it. So I go back. Y'all will find out Wednesday. I'll update everybody Wednesday. My next doctor's appointment's Wednesday, and they may set me up for surgery to take it out. And then they got to rinse the eyeball out, drill some holes in it, rinse the silicone out with the solution, and take the rubber band off and pop it back in. And hopefully, so I'm not, I wasn't looking forward to them doing it in the beginning, putting it in. I'm sure not looking forward to them taking it out. If you're talking about decriminalize, no, I don't agree. Oh, thank you, sir. Decriminalization is not the answer on anything. On decriminalization, when it comes to, well, maybe it would work for your heroin and all that stuff, because it's like I told everybody in Texas. And until Awesome Possum Band and Recreation in Graham, Texas did what they did, see, I started a brand new petition. You go and look it up. I can put the link here. I had started a brand new petition for Texas and all. I mean, because they lied to me out there, and I gave them all that money, and I put in all that work. I thought I was going to be there until my eyes were done, and I was supposed to go out a few months through Texas and then come back there and then go out a few more months in Texas, all next year, fighting for Texas alone. But because of what they did, that didn't happen. It's not going to happen. But anyhow, I've been fighting with Texas since, I can show you news clips where I was in Amarillo and when I was in Lubbock, late breaking news and stuff. I've got them news clips and stuff from that. I told them back then, decriminalization is not the answer. If you say yes to decriminalization, you're not going to get legal pot. And they, they just didn't pay no attention to the old hippie, Okay? Now, here's the thing about decriminalization. Decriminalization does not legalize it in any way, shape, or form. Decriminalization says, just like if you broke a traffic law and you go in there and you say no contest, it's pretty much the same thing. Okay? You get to tell the judge why you had the pot, this, that, and the other. Now, you're not going to do any jail time because you possess that pot, because that part's decriminalized. But soon as you give the pot away, first of all, they're going to take your pot and stuff. Okay? If it was legal in any way, shape, or form, why are they taking your pot? Why aren't they just giving you a ticket or whatever? They confiscate your goods, and then they put you in front of a judge, and you got to pay a fine, or he orders you to some sort of a drug counsel or this, that, and the other. And if you don't pay that fine or do the classes he orders, that's what you go to jail for, because you violated a court order. You don't go to jail for the pot. They're absolutely right. You go to jail for contempt of court because you violated a court order. Decriminalization is stupid. As long as I go in there and say, hey, okay, I vote for decriminalization, I'm saying, hey, I know it's illegal, and if I get caught with it, you can fuck with me. That's what decriminalization means, okay? And they're going to know who you are, and they're going to screw with you and screw with you and screw with you. Why wouldn't you just still make it legal? Why wouldn't you still make it legal? It's crazy. Do I get warnings for what? Oh, I just got an idiot message. See, I have these trolls from Awesome Possum Band Works and Steve Sprague out in Richmond, Virginia. We call him the Con Father. And then we got a pretty disgusting vet out there in Indiana, Scott Winslow Albert. Y'all stick around. Y'all find out all about them as things go on. And you know, there, of course, there's two sides to every story. But I have audio, video, and pictures and stuff to prove everything I say. Which, nevertheless, this part of the new mission, because I am painting it, I'm repainting the whole cannabis. Okay, I'm putting a new name on the cannabis. It will not be cannabis no more. And where it used to say free Lance Galore, because Lance Galore is free now. He's with his family. I'm going to put on both sides, front and the back, a little slogan for the new mission. Okay? And I'll do the same thing. I'll travel around next year, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise, and get people to sign the petition, which is online. If I can't get to your town, you can still sign online. But when people come to see me and meet me, they like signing the cannabis. Okay? So when somebody donates a penny, a nickel, a dime, a hug, a rope, any donation, I let them write on the canvas. So this will be a brand new canvas this year for people to write on. And where it used to say freelance galore, on front, back, and both sides, it's going to say everybody needs a little Jesus. And you don't have to make a donation, but you come up and tell me you want a little Jesus or anything, I'm going to hand you one of these little Jesuses as long as I have them out on the mission. I'm in a legal state and all now. No, when I got arrested was back in 2013, when it wasn't legal anywhere except, Colorado, 30 minutes away in California. That happened in 2013. I went to trial in 2014 and they found me incompetent to stand trial. I can't get them to arrest me for a marijuana charge. In Tennessee, the only time they've ever caught me with any pot in any illegal state was Tennessee. And it was the morning after my fire when the bus caught on fire. And the next day, people were bringing me donations. Somebody brought me a pair of pants. And they forgot to tell me there was about a joint worth of pot in a cellophane and a paper in the watch pocket. And those were clean clothes. So when I woke up that morning, I got in the burnout RV, wet down, whatnot, and slipped on the clean pants and whatnot. Well, long story straight, I'll save it for another day. When they frisked me down, they found that pot. And they're like, you can't do that. And I said, I claim my religious rights. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, you'll find out in court. I claim my religious rights. And yeah, I'll face any court in any land on pot, and I will beat the charge. Yeah. I don't know. I might be the only person that ever thought about fighting it on making them prove what narcotics in it. But the state must prove all points of their case. Right off the bat, I could have won on the fact that they were arresting me for THC. And the cannabis that I transferred from that truck to that truck was not THC. No, it was not at all. It was THCA. It was straight off the plant, and heat had not been applied to it yet. Therefore, nobody would get high off of it. But people don't think about that, when they go to take them to court and stuff. Oh, I'm glad y'all don't have meth there. Meth, it's such a big problem here. That stuff, okay, decriminalize. Keep it illegal. Take it away from them. And if they don't abide by what they want to abide, okay. So If it came to decriminalization, when it comes to drugs, yes. But see, nobody can prove that cannabis is a drug because I don't want nobody to mess with cannabis. Right now, this day and age, cannabis is more of a drug than it's ever been. Why? Because of all the stuff they're doing to it. The hydroponic, the cloning, all this stuff that they're doing to it. Original weed back in the day was way better than this crap that we're getting nowadays. And take that from any older stoner to tell you the truth. Sure, you got some strains here that you can smoke a couple of his that you're passed out. Well, that's not good weed. I mean, if you need pain relief or something, okay. But this stuff that you get locally at the dispensaries here, you know, I can go to a dispensary where I'm at and get an ounce out the door for $62. Heck, I didn't know places except back in the 70s where I could get it for that price back then. But it's low grade, you know. It's pot, but it's low grade. They took the fun out of it. You don't get the munchies. You don't get the cotton mouth. The pot back in the day was just a lot better. But I am glad that we get to have cannabis. I'm looking forward to when they finally legalize and I can come off the road. I fulfilled my heart, my promise. I promised a bunch of vets that I would fight until it got done and as long as I was able to fight. Well, I've kept my promise so far, and if this ice goes like it should in a couple months, by the time winter's gone here, I hope to hit the road and do another, maybe not coast to coast, but from Arizona out to Maryland, maybe even Rochester, New Hampshire. I got someone's house I want to set across from if I can find parking. Well, okay, yes and no. Alcohol is a drug. Marijuana is not a drug. And you know what's the difference, right? Processing, just like food, okay? Most food's not bad for you, it's the processing. You can't go to any grape in the world, unless you're Jesus, and get drunk off it and turn it into wine. It has to be processed, you know, fertilization, the whole 9 yards. Man has to do that. Just like cocaine. You cannot go to the cocaine plant and get the high off of cocaine like people want. It will just numb your gums and stuff. People chew on it all day long for their bad teeth and stuff. You don't get high. Why? It hasn't been processed yet. They squeeze it, put gasoline, chemical. It has to be processed. But what's the 3 top drugs in the world? What's the 3 top drugs in the world? And I will give you a hint. All 3 are legal. And 2 of them I don't do anymore. And that would be alcohol, tobacco, and caffeine. I do drink a coffee pretty much every day. But I've cut out tobacco years ago, and I cut out alcohol except a couple months back when I was out there at Awesome Possum, all the drunks and stuff, I was trying to fit in and drank beer for a couple weeks. But other than that, that's all the alcohol I've drank in 5 years. Yep, alcohol, coffee, and yep, tobacco. Absolutely. No, I said legal drugs. I was talking about legal drugs. Yeah. No, your worst of worst drugs is like fentanyl and heroin and cocaine. That I agree. But I was saying the 3 biggest drugs in the world. They surpass meth, they surpass cocaine, they surpass every drug there is. And that's alcohol, tobacco, and caffeine. And the reason they don't call it alcohol or a drug, you know, why do they call everything else that alters your mind, as they say, or whatever? Back when I was a kid, they called alcohol a drug. But somewhere along the line, somebody got smart and said, we can't call it a drug. alcohol's always been called alcohol and not a drug. You ever see the thing, that guy had drugs and alcohol? Never just, he had drugs and alcohol being a drug. You know why? Because it's spirits. Alcohol is spirits, man. People don't believe that, though, but that's okay. That's okay. But, man, I know. I grew up with the alcoholic mom. She was murdered in the late 80s on Christmas Day. 4 people at an alcohol party. It went bad. If they'd been pot there or all stoners, that would have never happened. Never happened. So. Oh, Sir John, no, you probably didn't hear where I said legal. Oh, I hear you. Everybody I know is on hard times. I've been asking for a week now for people to help me get the paint to repaint the vehicle. See, I'm doing all the work. You know, I'm the one that cleaned it down, sand it down. I'm the one that's got to paint it and all. And, you know, I put every penny I make into this mission and everything. You know, I do everything I can. But I've been, you know, on Facebook. I haven't been on the YouTube or nothing. But, you know, I've made a few posts and I've asked all week, you know, hey, need a couple $100 to repaint the... Yeah. I mean, a lot of people just ain't got the money to spare nowadays, which I understand, you know. It's getting harder and harder and harder. And if you follow me, that brings up a good point. I'm glad you brought... I'll tell you about the color in a minute, but I'm glad you brought that up because that brings up the trolls. I need to quit calling them the idiots. I'm trying better and better and better and better to, you know, because I did get baptized a couple of months ago, and I'm trying my best to not call people names like I used to and stuff. But yeah, the con father, he tries to convince people that I'm scamming people. You know, 10 years out on the road and whatnot, you'd think I'd have a nicer RV and stuff than this. I could afford to replace the seats in the 30-year-old couch and paint jobs and stuff, you know what I mean? But they're just jealous and whatnot, and I really don't want to get into them today. But anybody that would like to know about any of that, you just holler at me. And as time goes on, I will be doing... that we will be talking about them in my lives. Matter of fact, they've already sent a half dozen messages to my phone as I'm speaking now, how they're going to get my YouTubes taken down and all. And yeah, it's a shame they're so dumb and they do that on TikTok, because I could have a heck of a following on TikTok. And that could probably pay for the paint job and me getting on the road and stuff. And they could be making money because everybody likes, you know, that drama stuff. Look at the Lieutenant Dan thing on that they got going. That thing went from just a little bitty thing, a guy on a boat in a hurricane. I used to do that all the time, to one of the biggest things on TikTok now. And why? Because of all the drama. Because all the drama behind it. And people nowadays, that's what they like the much is the drama. But they don't realize if they would quit. No, I'm not at war with these people. They took it upon themselves to try and be at war with me. But here's the thing. If anybody, I'll tell you how. Here's the thing. If anybody went back over my Facebook over the years and looked and just followed from back then to now, you'd know exactly everything that I'm saying is true. And here's another point, too. It started out with a guy named Scott Winslow Albert. He's still in it, okay? He was the first one. Then come along a trucker named Bryson, okay? And because the first one had started, his stupid voice yelling at me, this, that, and the other, and calling and harassing me, and I was calling the Greenburgh Police Department, reporting them, well, this trucker figured out that he could do that guy's voice pretty good or try and fool me. And he did, and I guess he did. Because for a couple of years, well, I'm telling you, bugged the hell out of me until I got off the road last year, okay? So that was the second person. First, we had Scott Winslow Albert. the disgraceful vet in Indiana. Then we had Bryson, the trucker out of Missouri. And then the Bong father, Rochester, New Hampshire, his wife, and then they recruited what we call the Topeka Lady. I told her I wouldn't use her name. And a guy named Aaron Jones. Well, the Topeka Lady, which played a real big part of me coming off the road and the whole thing, she literally hit me with her car. I mean, it just tapped me that she hit me with her car. It could have been a lot worse. Police changed my name on the police report, just all kinds of things. But that's just one part about her. They had her all, believing in all these lies and stuff. I was beating my dog, all kinds of stuff. Well, when this shit show happened at Awesome Possum a couple months ago, I got all the pictures and everything to prove it. The judge's hands was tied on no contract, but I did win $500, which proves that I was in the right, if nothing else. But this so-called family of mine said I could be out there. They would take me to all my eye appointments and all. They're supposedly my foster family. I'd go out there over the last 5 years 4 times, I think. Well, I get there, I do all my work and everything. And I give them almost $2,000. I meet this one lady, Monica Brown, out there. She's nothing but a stone-cold alcoholic, but that's all right. If you watch all these videos, you will see nothing but everything great and wonderful. And everybody loved 420 Jim and all the things I did for him. All the way up to the day I got into her about the ducks. She didn't care that I'd bought them or anything. It was her way or no way, and screw you. You will never see any more videos about me with her or anything together or whatnot, because I just, the heck with it, you know what I mean? And just cut her off. I used to make her breakfast and everything. Well, I bailed the owner's wife out of jail a couple of days later for 2 grams of marijuana. He gets pissed, comes over the next day, hot and rant and run, whatever, a couple days later, whatever, when he found out it was me, and unplugs my electric, which I'd already done 6 months worth of work and paid him a couple $1,000. Monica, I split a swimming pool with her, $250 a piece, a hot water thing. I bought a dozen chickens, dozen ducks and stuff. I rented the tiller. I mean, and did the garden. I did, and like I say, I've got pictures and stuff of all this stuff. Part of the work, I did a bunch of body work and stuff on a schoolie. And like I say, I got pictures to prove all this stuff. So he gets mad because I bail her out of jail on a marijuana charge. Him and that Monica lady had been trying to set her up to have her pulled over for DUI, which everybody was surprised she didn't go to jail for DUI because she was drunker than a skunk and there were 30 open containers in the truck. But the police only got her for 2 grams or less of marijuana. Hell, I'm 420 Jim. She's supposedly my sister. She's the one taking me to my eye doctors. You're damn right that I'm going to bail her out. Oh, that was it. I get thrown out of Awesome Possum Band Works. His old lady leaves. I end up going down and sitting on the town square and doing my petition. Go to Walmart at the end of the day, and a pickup truck comes while I'm doing one of these lives like now. And a gentleman in the pickup truck has crosses in the back. And he said, man, I'm trying to find you. And I'm like, what? He says, you changed one of the most hard-headed, stubborn men in this town, which is pretty high up. He's even on the city council. You changed his mind about you. And he proceeded to tell me that the year before when I was there, this guy didn't like my petition, my vehicle, didn't want me in his town, especially on town square. And the preacher told him, look, nothing he's doing illegal. Put up a sign behind him and a stand that you don't want drugs here, which he didn't. But he come and talked to me this year. And at Bible study, he went back and told that guy that I was well-educated and a real nice guy and whatnot. So a little bit more talking. Guess what happened the next day? I get baptized at Edmond Lake right there in Graham, Texas. And that guy paid for my RV spot for 10 days there at Lake Edmond and did a testimony about how he didn't like me and all until he met me at that. But the good Lord got me out of that awesome possum situation with all the lying and thieving. And instead of being a man, Phil Cosby, because when he answered my lawsuit, he didn't put anything about I made sexual advances towards Monica Brown or anything like that. The complaint said that he owed me money and rent and whatnot, and he just denied them. Not one word about that. Well, him, Monica, and a few other people cook up this damn story when they get in front of the judge that I was kicked out for making sexual comment, trying to harass Monica sexually. That's her dreaming. That never, you know, that was just her dreaming. Hey, Sir John, cool, right on. Hey, Frankie, how you doing? Mega Truck, always. Hey, and thank y'all guys for leaving the thumbs up. So, anyhow, long story short, it was a blessing in disguise getting kicked out of Awesome Possum. It really was. The good Lord took care of me. I won $500 in court. You know, anybody that wants to know any of the truth about why never to go out there, especially if you have teenagers, do not go there. Okay? And I'll give you all the proof in the world you need. Okay? And, but yeah, I've got these, and the Monica Brown, the one that screwed me over and said I sexually made, she thinks it's awful funny to be posting and sending things on the internet now. She made one that said that I tried to rape her. So she's still drinking and being delusional. That's never happened. You know, and then, she's trying to stir up the other trolls that one that started it. But getting back to that, Bryson, the guy that tormented me for 4 years, right along Woody LePage, which is Scott Winslow Albert, he, right after the Awesome Possum thing and my baptism, he gets a hold of me and says, he said, man, I am so sorry that I done this to you. And I heard that bullshit before with him, you know, blah, 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 ha, ha. But he was really serious this time. He said, man, I want to give you $600 to help you get back out to your family. You know, will you forgive me and whatnot? I said, you know what, Bryson? I accept all your terms and everything. And, you know, I gave you forgiveness anyway, you know. But to really make me 100% happy, you're going to have to apologize to all my followers. And he did. He made a video, or not a video, audio, which I have played for my followers before, you know. So he sent me $600, and here's a guy that you know knew that what they were doing were all wrong and everything, and how it was instigating, you know, fight people that didn't even know me, like this lady coming after me and everything. Well, now she's a friend of mine, and she sent me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails and stuff about Steve and whatnot. Now, Steve, he beat his ex-wife up. He set a house on fire with a 16-year-old kid in it. You know, things like that. He can't say anything except he tries to tell people animal abuse. But if you listen to the story, he says, my dog jumped out when I come to his house, and I grabbed it by the scruff of the neck and threw it back in the motorhome. Well, that's a responsible dog owner. And anytime if he did hear a yelp, anytime you grab a dog by the back of the neck, they're going to yelp. I mean, just, you know, but it wasn't like a yelp, 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 you know what I mean? And that's what got that lady all fired up and mad, you know, thinking that I was an animal abuser and stuff. So anyhow, they're still doing their shenanigans. It ain't going to last much longer. And I just want to mention it because keep watching, folks, because that's all going to come into play here in a little bit. And, you know, maybe we'll hear of some arrest, or maybe we won't. But it's definitely going to be entertaining, because one of the main characters sent me $600 and apologized. And him and the lady from Topeka, the one that hit me the car and all, they're both willing to testify when it goes to court. And it is a big conspiracy just to mess with me. And I am 66 in a month, and I'm going to start writing to senators and stuff this week because I called elderly abuse. Well, it's not physically mental, physical elder abuse. It is mental elderly abuse. It is against the law. No one should be able to do that to people over and over and over. So that is another little part that I'm incorporating into this mission, to make sure us elderly people have the rights, and we stand up for our mental abuse too. You know, even the Bible tells us take care of our elders. We're not supposed to be people just, it's bad enough that they're bearing false witness against the neighbor and stuff, but I am going to get something done, I hope, this year. 4 years of this is enough. But now 2 of the main players have come forward and are willing to testify as soon as I get some sort of law enforcement, FBI, whoever it wants to do it, to do their job. So hopefully that happens here shortly or on this next journey. Well, thank you. I hope my eye clears up. You know what? I'll be thankful. And I am thankful if I only end up with 1. But right now, I do have partial color. Colors aren't really that great. I do have blurry black and white vision, pretty much, which is, it could be none, and it still could be none. It's not, the silicone isn't taken out and put back in and whatnot, It's just, if it don't work, it's either going to work or blindness in that eye. And I'm prepared for either one. I mean, sure, I'd love it to work and have, both eyes and good vision. I'd be lying to say if I didn't. But I leave all that in the hands of the good Lord above. If I'm supposed to have 2 eyes, fine. If I'm supposed to have 1 eye, fine. I leave all that to the good Lord above. I'll know Wednesday if they're going to schedule it again or not. The last 2 weeks I've had an appointment, but I've had to reschedule it because I didn't have a ride or nothing, and I was trying to transfer all my stuff from Texas, where I got screwed over by Awesome Possum Band and Recreation, to here. Yeah, I had to transfer my medical, my Social Security, all that. So, yeah, I didn't get rides to the doctor, and it kind of screwed me over. But I'm a lot better off where I'm at and everything now, and a lot closer to my family and all. So it was a blessing from God, and another whole story in itself. But hopefully Wednesday I'll be able to let everybody know. And maybe I'll do I plan on doing a live every day, but every once in a while something happens, or I just can't do it, or a battery or something. But other than that, I'm going to try and do a live every day and get the YouTube channel built up. Next week, the new petition is going to be coming out. So I'll be putting it on here, and I expect everybody, and anybody can sign the petition. It don't ask age or anything like that. Anybody that believes in the petition, which you can read it and all, can sign the petition. And I encourage anybody and everybody, one time, just put a name, sign that petition. The government ain't going to come and mess with you because you signed a petition to federally legalize and to release cannabis prisoners. Nah. So hopefully I get people to sign it this year, and we can move on. Well, my friends, I do Facebook. If you want to find my Facebook, give me a second. If you want to find me on Facebook, just type in my name, FOUR, then space TWENTY, space JIM. It took me 3.5 years to make Facebook put that legal name up there, because my name's been 420 Jim since 2019. It's only been changed on Facebook 2 years ago, and they still haven't changed it on TikTok. They can't leave at Stevens there, but they have. But they're from China. Who cares? And I don't care. I've never hid my name, so it's cool. I do have a TikTok. If you want to, if I'll do a reel here and there on that. Find my TikTok if you like. I keep getting shadow banned and stuff on it. Can't build it up much because, like I say, I got these trolls saying how they're going to mess with my social media and all. But that's okay. All they're doing is bringing down a company in Graham, Texas, Awesome Possum Band and Recreation. That's all they're doing, trying to ruin their business by bringing me, and they ain't nothing but liars and thieves, and I can prove everything I say. They can't prove nothing. They've said they've had videos, they've said all kinds of things. They've never proved one thing they've said. Well, anybody got any comments, questions, or concerns before I get out of here? I do a live at 7 o'clock of the evening on Facebook. I'm hoping that on Wednesday they set me up for eye surgery because I'm tired of this being in my eye and stuff. It's just, I don't know, it's weird, because I've got like half vision, half sight, half whatever. I got to have the light bright to see out of this one. It's kind of too bright for this one and not bright. So it's weird. But, I mean, if it gets my sight back, it is what it is. Right on. Thank you so very much for joining in today, everybody. Please catch me tomorrow. Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. And always, peace, love, and cannabis for all. One team, one dream. United we stand. And if we try, we can all get along. Jack, Lilu, my 2 dogs, and me, we all love you. And never, ever forget, Jesus loves you too. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow.